So, remote versus on site. Recently, I've actually been thinking about this and I've been having a mental model of, okay, both job type and the pros and cons of it. And then I actually stumbled upon this nice article by this guy right here, Kapi Menje. I hope I'm not butchering that name. I'm really sorry. Yeah, so I saw this article by Chapel, so this software developer right here, and I thought, oh, let's go through it. And it actually mirrored some of the things I was thinking about. As a software engineer, have you ever wondered what if you're taking a different path? What if you are choosing to work remotely instead of an office? Let me zoom that in a bit. My remote job started in 2020 when I started applying to remote jobs in a platform called Upwork. Now, before we continue, for a bit of more context and information about me, I've actually done my fair share of remote jobs and done my fair share of office jobs. And personally, I actually prefer remote job overall. I mean, as long as there isn't a specific reason for me choosing on-site or office job or a very large pay difference, I would very much prefer working remotely. But that's not to say that there are times when I've actually missed going to office. There are a lot of things, there are a lot of advantages, like I don't have to worry about the internet when it comes to communication and, okay, let's say networking and meeting people. Well, office job actually gives a better room for that. But anyway, that's just about me. Okay, what does this guy think? Let's continue. Okay, so he started applying to remote jobs. People around me didn't think that the platform is for us. Ethiopian. Oh, that's nice. Ethiopia. So at that time, I was very active in our university computer science club. Internet is free, so I thought, why not give it a try to this remote job thingy? After applying to jobs and building my skills to be ready for the remote work, a week passed without any response from any clients. And after a lot of tries, I got my first client that made me eligible to call myself a remote developer. I can get the feeling of this. Yeah. At that time, it wasn't about the money. I focused on my reputation and my profile. Yeah, this is actually real now. There's a time when, as a software developer, when you're getting your first gig, your first job, internship, what is actually on your mind isn't really about the pay. It's not about the money. What you are more focused on is actually building your portfolio, is actually learning more, is actually, okay, contributing. At that time, you are going to be very much eager. So I worked for a very low price and I got a 5-star review from my clients. After that, I started getting more clients and I started to increase my price. And now I'm working with very good clients and I'm getting paid a very good amount of money. Now I'm working as a software developer full time for over a year with a company in Bahrain on site. I've got the taster of being a remote developer for more than 3 years before this. So let's break down the pros and cons of being a remote developer and an on site developer. Okay, so, what are the pros of working remotely? I'll be honest here. I'm not a morning person or early bird, so I love to wake up late and start my day late. So, being a remote developer gives me the freedom to wake up late and start my day late. I don't have to worry about being late to work. This is partly true because in some particular cases, you might be working remotely, but there are times for meetings, stand up meetings, print meetings, which are usually fixed. While I work remotely, I don't work freelance, so I work with a company remotely. And I still have time I need to actually get up, attend my meetings. Then after that, I might decide to time out a bit and then do some other things before continuing with my work. So as a remote developer, no one is going to bother you. Monitor was on your screen, always passing by your desk. You can do your work in your own way, in your own free time. If there's no work, you can do whatever you want to. Name a few: Netflix, YouTube, games, sleep, etc. This is the best part of being a remote developer. I agree. You can work from your favorite coffee house or your favorite place at any time just to do your job and submit your work for further review. So, a quick note on this: this is one of the best part about being a remote developer. Okay, I might decide to not like the ambience, okay, of where I'm currently working and go to a place that will enable me to focus more clearly or think better. But you can't do that when working on site. You can't just because you don't really like the office environment and grab your things and say, "Hey, boss, I'm actually going to this particular place. I'm going to work there." That doesn't work. Okay, you meet one of the smartest people in the world. You'll be working with people all over the world. You will learn a lot from them, and you'll be able to share your knowledge with them. Let's be real here. Who doesn't like to work in their pajamas? I know I do. Is that enough to convince you to be a remote developer? Yes, definitely yes. Now let's look at the cons. You'll be working alone most of the time. True. You'll be missing the office environment and the people around you. You'll miss the office gossip and the office politics. That's actually true. There was a time I actually stopped my last on-site job and I moved remote. For a few days I missed the fact that when I got to the office, there are some jokes will crack and things like that, which you can actually miss if you're working remotely. I never thought I would say this, but I missed to just go to office in the morning, trying to grab something that you need to take to your office, like your office ID, laptop, or charger. Oh, I don't miss the morning rush. That's not me. Okay, you'll be missing the jokes and the fun you have with your colleagues. You miss the office lunch and the parties. Can you believe some things are just easier to be discussed in person than over a video call or a chat? I felt that many times when I was working remotely. Well, not really for me. I don't actually agree with this. Here's the thing, you can waste as much time discussing some things as with on a video call. So it's not really a matter of it's easier to discuss some things in person than over a video call. I really do not agree with that. I've done a lot of meetings and resolved a lot of issues over a video call or an online meeting. And even discussing some things, some similar things personally in person really do not bring out the solutions that were required. But what do you guys think? Do you really believe that some things are easier to be discussed and resolved in person than over maybe a video call or a chat? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Okay, remote work can be isolating not only to the office life but to your friends and family. You'll be missing the time you spend with your family and friends. You'll be stuck sitting in your chair and staring at your computer screen as for hours and hours. Well, for me, it's not that much isolated. I actually love working remotely. Now, let's switch gears and talk about being an on-site developer. Working on person brings you closer to your colleagues. Through you build a stronger relationship with your colleagues. You'll be able to share your knowledge and learn from them. Sometimes small talks with your colleagues can lead to a great idea. You'll be able to share your ideas and get feedbacks from your colleagues. I agree with that. Okay, so let's say you get stuck in one bug where you forget to add a semicolon or a comma. Your colleague might see your frustration and help you out. You'll be able to get help. You don't even have to ask for help. They'll see your frustration and help you out. Of course, if they are nice. Okay, yeah, I think I can agree with that. Have you ever wondered where the heck the idea over lunch comes from? You have no idea how many times I got a great idea over lunch. You'll be able to get idea over lunch or a coffee break. I shouldn't be the first person to say this, but if you think about it, remote work is not as productive as on-site work. You'll be able to get more work done in the office than at home. Well, concerning this, I think it actually depends on you as a person. There's some people that, when it comes to remote work, I agree with this. They might not be as productive, but when it comes to someone like me, where I am much more productive when it comes to working remotely. Things that okay, when working in an office might take me, let's say a week, 2 weeks, I might get it done in days while working remotely. Especially when I think of the fact that, okay, I have a target to meet this particular sprint deadline and things like that. Besides, all of the on site works I've actually done, the thought of commuting to work alone gives me headache. Especially, I live in a place that has a lot of traffic, a lot of stress when commuting. I live in Lagos, Nigeria, and the stress of getting from even my home to the office, I get so much exhausted. I'll just have to sit up, like, just want to rest and cool myself for like some minutes before I even open up my laptop and start doing anything. So for me, even the time lag, the mental lag itself actually removes out of my productivity. So now let's look at the cons of on-site working. God damn, we really need to restrict our wants and needs because who loves to wake up early? I know I don't. Well, same with me. How about sometimes you finish your tasks early and you have to be stuck in the office for the rest of the day? Yeah, that's another thing. All the pros of being a remote developer might be against you. You'll be missing the freedom of being a remote developer. True. Thinking about the traffic and the time you spend on the road and get to your office makes you, and that is actually very true. Especially if you live in a place where, okay, the distance from your home to work is actually very long, or let's say the commuting, it's not very easy, or traffic and things like that. Well, it just happens that the thought of waking up every day in the morning itself is just like, oh my God. All right, you'll be monitored. You can't even watch a YouTube video, even if that is going to help with your work. Though this depends on your boss. Honestly, I got the best ones, but I feel that some people will feel this as I felt it before. I can actually relate with it, though. Like it's rightly said, it also depends. There are companies like, okay, my company where I work, we actually make use of a time tracker, which takes screenshots of your screen at some intervals and okay upload them for review to be sure that you are actually doing what you're supposed to be doing. And I think though that has been adjusted, but before when watching things like visitor sites like YouTube or so, it's actually going to give you a notification that oh, you are currently on an unproductive site watching YouTube and things like that. So concerning this is actually this point here, this is actually real debatable. So let's continue. Now, all these are just what software engineers experience. I'm sure there are a lot more pros and cons of being a remote developer and an on-site developer. I'm not convincing you to try to be a remote or on-site. I'm just sharing my experience with you, and I hope this will help you to make a right decision. Even though both have a lot of pros and cons, I prefer to have a hybrid work environment where I go to the office when I feel like it or work from my garage, creating the next Facebook or Google. Who knows? You might see me on the cover of Forbes magazine. This is real nice. This is a real nice article. I think there are a lot of advantages to working remotely and also in the office. But I personally have weighed the pros and cons of both, and remote work actually seems to make much more sense to me. I get more productive. I don't have to worry about traffic and a lot of things. I can manage my time better when I'm working remotely. Though there's downsides about having to worry about your setup, electricity, and things like that. Most of the times when working in an office, some of these things might actually be provided for you. You might have a workstation and things like that. But chances are when working remotely, you have to actually think about this thing, plan and outsource all of this. But overall, I think this decision depends on you, depends on your goal and okay, what you think is going to help you focus more. There are some people that it's a bad idea for them and they know it to work without any supervision, without the impending doom of their boss coming to them every 5, 10 minutes to ask about something. But I think in the end, it depends on you. So just look at both of them. Do you? So, what do you guys think as a software developer, or let's say you're working in tech or in IT in general? Which would you prefer? Which do you actually think is the best? Has more advantages than disadvantages? You can put them down in the comments. And also, I would love to hear your experience concerning working either remotely or on site in the office and any thoughts you have regarding that. That's all for today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'm going to see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.